Hello, this is Eileen Silverglide, Chief Revenue Officer of SBJ. Welcome to this edition of SBJ Executive Insight. My guest for this session is Jason Tedrow from InProduction. Jason, I'm thrilled that you're here.
Yes, thanks for the invite.
Yes, thank you. One of the things that has really struck me about your business in doing a lot of my homework is that I've loved how you work so innovatively with your clients. Because what I've learned is that you have clients just from collegiate athletics, which we obviously have talked about so much today, to folks in the pros, to folks that are really doing something very modular and temporary. So can you give us a little window into what concept from production looks like?
Oh, that's a great question. So we're kind of a end-to-end shop. So we start with the design. So you have our sales and design team all the way through fabrication, installation, and hand off to the client. So it all starts with that initial client engagement. That what are they looking for? Is it you want just to expand capacity? If you want to enhance the finishes of an area? Do you want to provide new high-end hospitality? So really, all that will kind of drive what the design looks like. So the nice thing is, all of our solutions are 100% customizable to fit the use case, the environment, the space, and so that all starts with really that dialogue with the client and figure out exactly what problem we're trying to solve, and then we take it from there.
What are the most typical client problems that you see? What are those use cases that are the most frequent?
Bigger, better, faster. So they want bigger. A lot of our clients, they want bigger structures. They want to sell more tickets. They want to go up another level. So that would be one. Better. They just a lot of folks. We're seeing probably our highest level of demand right now is just for that high-end hospitality, luxury suite kind of space. That's really been a carryover from COVID. I think people, as we came out of COVID, people liked having kind of their group with their team and their people and their guests, and that's just continued to grow. And then in terms of better, it's just what's the next level? I mean, if you look at what we've done at Las Vegas F1, for example, and some of the work we did there with the LVGP team and the Mercedes team, and just the degree of those finishes. I mean, what the client is looking for is they want a high-end experience that does not feel like you're in a temporary structure. It's got to feel like a unique experience, and that's bigger, better, faster.
Yep. And then in terms of faster, have you seen a change in terms of the timeline that your clients are asking of you?
Absolutely. I mean, it's think about a large portion of our work is done on golf courses, for example. So what happens when there's an event at a golf course? Well, we're on site. It's a construction site and a golf course at the same time. The membership doesn't necessarily love having us there for 4, 5, 6 months. So there's a lot of pressure to get in and out as fast as we can. So we just are not disrupting the golf course. If there's a lot of music festivals that we do several music festivals all around the country, and a lot of those are in public parks and in cities. So what happens when there's a festival and it's a construction zone? They shut down the park for public access. And if you live near a wonderful park, you want to be able to experience that. So the speed in and the speed out it's not just a requirement. It's starting to become a limiting factor on how big we can go on some of these events, which has forced us to be more creative on our methods of how we build it and how we take it down.
Yeah. How do you work with municipalities who might have some of these regulations and strictures about what you can and can't do? How does your team handle some of that?
Yeah, so our engineering and design team they're well versed in local codes. We work all around the country. We work everywhere in North America, and especially in several major cities and smaller cities around in the U.S. So really, it's important that we know the code. It's important that we know the inspectors. It's important that we have relationships so that we know going in what's expected, what's allowed, and that we're being good stewards of we're guests there, right? And we need to make sure we're acting like good guests who are responsible and leaving the place as good or better than we found it. So a lot of it it starts with knowing the codes, the rules, and the regulations, having relationships with folks in the community, and then just making sure that we're doing checks along the way through either inspectors or building inspectors or fire marshal or whatever, just to make sure that we're following their expectations as well.
Right. As you look back perhaps on the growth of the past year, what sports in particular have you really seen on the ascendancy that is asking for types of build like this?
Yeah, I would say it's really three major areas, right? So the first one is racing. We do a lot of racing. The Las Vegas Grand Prix F1, we did quite a few large structures, and working with the Venetian as well on their structure. The Chicago NASCAR street race, which
Yeah,
we're
that was
building
an
in downtown
exciting
Chicago,
one.
which was great.
Yeah.
IndyCar race at Hy-Vee, IndyCar race in Detroit. So a lot of again, you're talking about working with different diverse cities with different rules and regulations in their downtown. Like, for example, Chicago NASCAR, we have to start the build at 20 feet in the air so we can build over some trees, so we don't hurt the trees, right? So I think racing is one of them. Plus the high-end experience that the clients are looking for, we definitely have to, we have to provide that to them because that's what they're expecting. Next would be the music festivals and things like that. Our music festival work, I mean, it's they want it's not high-end hospitality, it's bottle service, right? So we got 3 levels of bottle service, and just that neat experience where you're elevated watching the show as opposed to being in the I don't know about you, but I'm at the point in my life where I don't necessarily want to be on the floor anymore.
No.
I'd like to be up looking at
I
it.
look for quiet.
Exactly. And then the third one is college sports is just taken off. I mean that is where we're really seeing a lot of growth both in our business and interest. So that's either in terms of building temporary structures like we did at Northwestern for their football stadium, or helping universities with their renovations of their permanent stadiums, adding capacity, adding high-end hospitality at different different events. University of Tennessee baseball, we've done that, or other places. So I think college is really, it's a growing market for us because I think people are looking for a higher-end experience. They're looking for something different than just a GA ticket. And it's also an opportunity for the universities to increase their revenue by having a higher level product that they can offer.
Yes, I think there's no question about that. That is one of the key themes, certainly, that we have heard here at IIF all week, is that with the increasing cost pressure, like these universities have to drive more revenue. And there's no question that premium seating and looking at mixed use and how can you make that tailgating experience really a revenue driver for the school is absolutely crucial.
You can't just charge more, you have to give more.
No, you have to give them a little bit more. Has there ever been, I have to ask this question, a time where you've had a project you've had to turn away?
We have walked away from projects where the scope is not properly defined. And we know that if we move forward with the scope that's been presented to us and understanding kind of what the expectations of the client are going to be, knowing that we can't deliver on just the vagueness of what they're looking for, we're going to disappoint somebody. So we have walked away from a few of those. Like I say, we've never walked away from a project that was too complex. If you think about it, we built the Northwestern project, and we built that same in 65 days. We've fabricated and shipped and installed whole football stadiums in 6 to 8 months. We built soccer stadiums. Like we've never said no because of the complexity. I mean, you think about the Phoenix Open, the WM Phoenix Open. We build a 18 to 20,000 seat stadium around a par 3 on a golf course. I mean, there's not many more complex projects than that. So we've never said no, worried about the complexity. But if it's maybe not properly defined or something, we would definitely walk away or say no with price.
So Jason, I have one final, more personal question for you. Why this business for Jason?
Oh boy, this is the best. I have the best job in the world. I work with the best people, building the most amazing events for the most incredible clients. Almost every day, I literally have goosebumps right now. Almost every day, at least on the weekends, you turn the TV on, you see something that we built. I mean, the pride that my team has in just, it really hit me when I first started with the business. One of my first events I went to was the WM Phoenix Open. And to see just how excited people were to be there, or to see just the relationship that my team had with an amazing client, and how happy everyone was. Just P.T. Barnum said, the noblest art is that of making others happy, and I feel like that's what we do.
Yeah.
So that's
Wonderful.
why I love it.
It's a great answer. Thank you so much, Jason. It was a wonderful conversation, and thank you for joining us for this edition of SBJ Executive Insight.